on 3 pillars of Lent: prayer, to deepen the connection with God, reflecting and studying the scripture; fasting, a spiritual discipline of penance; almsgiving, acts of charity by helping the needy and the poor in the society. The theme of this year is building a just, peaceful, and united Kenya, upholding equity and human dignity. This solemn event will be broadcasted live on Capuchin TV and all our social media platforms. Capuchin TV encourages all Christians to maintain the spiritual growth by relying on God. TV, your staunchly Catholic identity channel.
Capuchin TV.
Forward ever, backward never. Let us move ahead and so on. Even children, kuna kakitu tunaweza kufanya ili kanisa iweze kumetameta.
Endelea kutazama Capuchin TV, kitambulisho
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Catholic Focus News. I'm Susan Bulemi and our sign language interpreter is Hezron Otieno. On today's bulletin, calls grow for the urgent release of education funds. Thousands of youths benefit from the Nyota Empowerment Project at the coast. The government targets reduced electricity losses in Murang'a, and residents demand accountability over the proposed sale of Safaricom shares. Stay with us. Kicking us off is education advocate Rachel Ameso has called on the government to fast-track the release of education funds, warning that delays in capitation and rising school costs are placing a heavy burden on learners and parents. She says schools are struggling to operate effectively as families grapple with the increasing cost of education. Onuso Yvonne now has more details.
The Parliamentary Service Commissioner and former Kakamega Women Representative Rachel Ameso has urged the government to urgently prioritize the education sector, warning that continued neglect could endanger the country's future. Ameso spoke during the disbursement of 3 million shillings in school fees to 300 grade 10 students across Kakamega County. She questioned the planning and allocation of education budgets, citing a recent incident in which the Education Cabinet Secretary failed to clearly explain the cost of educating a child from primary school through university.
The other day we had the Minister of Education in Parliament, National Assembly. He doesn't know the cost of educating a kid from primary to university. So how does he come up with a budget? A national budget to do with education, when you don't know the cost of educating a kid. Is it right? Is it just?
She called on President William Ruto to ensure the timely release of capitation funds to schools, noting that delays disrupt learning and place an additional financial burden on parents. Ameso further warned that inadequate support for education could lead to social problems, including crime.
So, Mr. President, we ask you to look into the issues to do with education. Let's put our heads together. Teachers, parents, and everybody in that order, so that we can improve and fill the gaps. Yes, they will go to school with nothing, but for how long? For how long? Capitation takes time to reach the schools. What will they eat? What will they eat? So we are killing this society. We are killing this society, slowly by slowly. Soon, this will be a country full of thugs, because education is the equalizer of everything in life.
Additionally, she advocated for a review of the cost of school uniforms and the implementation of the competency-based education system, CBE, saying reforms are necessary to ease the financial strain on families and improve learning outcomes. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Onuso Yvonne.
Moving on, at least 1,133 youths from Taita Taveta County are among beneficiaries of the Nyota project, a government initiative a government initiative aimed at empowering young people economically. In total, 5,880 youths from Mombasa, Kwale, and Taita Taveta counties received 139.5 million Kenyan shillings during a ceremony presided over by President William Ruto in Mombasa. Speaking at the event, Taita Taveta Governor Andrew Mwadime announced additional county support for the beneficiaries, saying the move is intended to enhance sustainability and expand youth-led enterprises.
Mkutano wa mashauriano uliofanyika Kishushe uliokutanisha wanachama wa ranchi, maafisa wa serikali pamoja na viongozi waliochaguliwa, hatua inayoweza kufungua mlango wa shughuli za uchimbaji madini katika eneo lenye utajiri mkubwa wa madini. Akihutubia wakazi, katibu mkuu wa madini Hari Kimtai amewahimiza Wakenya kuwakumbatia wawekezaji wa humu nchini badala ya kudhani kuwa maendeleo lazima yatokane na wawekezaji wa kigeni au wanaoishi ughaibuni.
Wakati vile Devki amesema, rais kila wakati anaenda nje nchi kwenda kuomba wawekezaji waje, aliona vyema kwamba huyu mwekezaji wetu hapa ndani Devki aje hapa Taita aanzishe kiwanda. Sasa zingine tunasema nataka twende Amerika, nataka twende China, nataka twende Uingereza, ili hali tuko na wawekezaji hapa Kenya. Na rais akamwambia Devki kuja weka kiwanda hapa. Devki leo hii, hata mimi sitaki niseme, ungeniruhusu tu pengine mimi niseme mambo ya Kishushe imeisha, mimi nirudi nyumbani.
Mwenyekiti wa kampuni ya Devki, Daktari Narendra Raval, ameahidi kuwa vijana wa eneo hilo watapata kipaumbele cha ajira pinde kiwanda cha chuma cha Manga kitakapokamilika.
I am with you. I will be with you. We will follow the law. We will remove this maskini. Sasa local contain. Bana MP liko anasema hakuna haja kueleza mimi. Kila mahali iko na factory. Our first priority, the local employment. Ikiwanda, si kazi ya serikali sio employment, kupatia employment, hapana. It is supposed to be private sector. I will make sure I will employ local people because that is my dream. Number two, local contain about the transporters, definitely.
We do apologize for that slight inconvenience there, our dear viewer. Electricity losses have dropped from 23.74% in 2022 to 21.7%. The government now targets a further reduction to 16% as it connects more households to power in Murang'a County. Our reporter Lilian Kemanthi brings us the report.
the loss has decreased to 21.7% from 23.74% recorded in 2022, signaling significant improvements in the energy sector. Speaking during the launch of electricity projects in Maragua, Murang'a County, Energy Principal Secretary Alex Wachira said the government aims to further reduce the losses to 16%, a move expected to lower electricity bills for citizens.
In 2022, our transmission and system losses were to the tune of 23.74%. We have been able to lower that to about 21.7%. And our aim is that in the next 3 years, we shall have lowered that loss to about 16%. That will affect the bill positively, because when we lower our system and distribution losses, that reflects in your bill, and you are able to have a better bill, a lower and with lower cost of power.
In the past 3 years, the government has connected that 7,000 households in the county to electricity and plans to increase the number to 50,000 households by the end of this year. These measures are part of the government's effort to reduce energy losses and improve electricity services nationwide.
Launch a construction ya sitima ambao itafikia 154 homestead. Ukimultiply na 5 kwa kila boma, utaona ni watu wangapi sasa watakuwa wamepata hiyo maendeleo ya stima. Saa hii tuko kwa second leg hapa Gathera, tumekuja juu ya maneno ya stima. Hapa ile stima tutafanya maximization.
Reporting for Catholic Focus, I am Lilian Kimanthi.
Residents of Murang'a County have expressed conditional support for the government's proposal to partially sell its shares in Safaricom, calling for strict safeguards to ensure the proceeds are used transparently and responsibly. During a public participation forum held at Murang'a University, some residents supported the move on condition that the funds are ring-fenced, while others raised concerns over possible diversion of the money to political campaigns and questioned the wisdom of selling shares in a profitable company. Take a look.
To realize 15% of their shares so that they can be able to recoup funds to finance the project. When we talk of 15%, then it implies that out of the 35, there will be a residue of 20% that will still be existing as an investment of the government in Safaricom, and that one will remain deriving the common or the normal income of dividends that has been deriving, the fact that only that it's going to reduce because dividends are paid on the number of shares. So that's something that we need to assure the members of public is that Safaricom will not be holistically owned by one company. However, the further one will be in control, since it will be owning more than 50% of the shareholding.
Remember that Safaricom shares have been trading for the last 6 months at an average of 27 shillings 50 cents. And the government was able to convince Vodacom to place an offer to it of 34 shillings. And in normal corporate practice, whenever a person wants to dispose their shares within a company, the private company, usually there's preference for those shares to be offered to, a partner with whom you are in that business with. So in this case, Vodacom, because of the experience that they have in the telecommunications sector, were preferred to be given these shares than any other person from the outside. Yeah, because they have been there from the beginning and they have overseen the company grow up to where it is today.
As citizens, we need assurance of this money, as you have written here in point 9 and 10, that they will be used for infrastructure like electricity, getting us electricity, good roads. We need assurance that these funds will be used for that purpose.
I rise to support, but ikiwezekana with amendment. Ukiangalia kwa shareholders wa Safaricom, serikali government 35%, Vodafone 40%, na public shareholders ni 25%. Mkidictate mnauzia Vodafone share 15%. Vodafone kwa learning of that company itakuwa na 55%. Kwa hivyo indecision za kuilan na management, maybe mwananchi atafeel amefinyiliwa. So I would propose or suggest, kama inawezekana, hii shareholder ni support mwenzangu venye alikuwa amesema hapo mbeleni, iuziwe kwa public shareholders.
Kubaliana na 15% ya Safaricom iuzwe, lakini iwe na some amendment. 10% iende kwa Vodafone, because I'm sure at this level musha wa involved in one way or the other. Ya pili, hiyo 5% serikali ipeleke kwa public Kenyans. Tunaona ni kama inachukuliwa yote, inaenda Vodafone, wherever Vodafone are in. I don't know where the headquarters are. But it is something that we can't control per se. Kwa hivyo mimi naona hata kama walikuwa wameshauriana wanaweza kuwauzia kiwango fulani, wacha 5% ikae hapa kwetu, tuuziwe sisi wananchi.
And that story on the sale of Safaricom shares brings us to the end of today's Catholic Focus News. And of course, great appreciation to the production team for making this bulletin a success. I am Susan Bulemi, and our sign language interpreter has been Hezron Otieno. Until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and keep it locked right here on Capuchin TV.
Keep watching Capuchin TV, your staunchly Catholic identity channel. You are watching Capuchin TV. For any complaints, comments, or compliments on our programming, you can either write to us on info@capuchintv.co.ke, or you can call us directly on 0717 424 866. Your complaint shall be addressed within 7 days. Remember to keep a copy of your communication with us. Keep watching Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity.